Live streaming service. Good morning, it's midnight UTC on March the 19th and it's 10 o'clock on the eastern coast of Australia in Queensland. That's Australian Standard Time. Cyclone Trevor is continuing to approach the coast of the Cape York Peninsula this morning and is now a Category 2 storm, according to Force 13 on its satellite estimates, now up to 100 miles per hour. That's 160 kilometers per hour. The ATCF system, though, is going with 110 miles per hour, which is around 180 kilometers per hour sustained. And that is a Category 3 on the Australian scale, Category 2 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. At least we agree on the category now. Additionally, we have several other systems around the whole region. 95S could become our next storm for Western Australia. Tropical Depression 3W is moving over the Philippines, delivering huge amounts of rain by the looks of it. 93S could develop into our next storm in the southwest Indian Ocean. And the remnants of Cyclone Idai continue to bring misery to millions over the eastern part of the southeastern part of Africa. We now believe 422 have been killed. That number is expected to rise. The latest information there is in the last just over an hour ago. The United Kingdom is going to be sending £6 million of aid to the region. My name is Nathan Foy. I'm joined by our team. Good afternoon, morning, evening from all parts of the world. David, hello.
Good to be here again, Nathan.
We've also got Ryan.
Hello. And good morning, everybody.
Good morning. And if he's still available, Isaac should be there as well.
Hello, Isaac from South Texas here.
And we'll be talking about everything at this time, just as we've been doing for the last 4 hours now here at Force 13 HQ. This is Force 13 streaming service, and we continue to bring you the latest on this storm. When do you guys think it's going to make landfall?
Oh, I'm waiting for the next advisory in about an hour from now. It's hard to say, Nathan.
Well, yeah, at the latest advisory from the Bureau of Meteorology, it looks like around 5 p.m., but that might have changed by now, so yeah. Certainly we are looking within the next few hours, though, by this point.
I'm just going to do some calculations here. We just had a question, by the way, as well. How far is Trevor from Cookstown? You can answer our question. You can ask questions to us, by the way. Start your message with Force 13 all in text if you're watching us live. We'd be happy to answer your questions. David, do you have an idea of what the answer is to that question?
Cooktown is to the south of where the cyclone is. Oh, probably a couple of 100 miles.
Alright. Will it be within the strong wind zone? Is it under the cyclone warning?
I think it is.
No, it is. At least from the latest update, it is not.
Alright.
But it's like just south of Cape Flattery, which is southern extent of the warning zone.
Let's look back again at the latest imagery, and this is how the storm's been progressing over the last few hours. We want to take a look now at how it's been looking over the course of this larger amount of time. So this loop takes about 5 hours of the last 5 hours of this storm, basically. And I'm going to try and draw some points from start to finish and see how far it's travelled and maybe we can extrapolate that to see how long it will be until landfall. So there's the first dot I've just drawn. The next one is over here. It's been moving just south of west. A little bit more of a west-southwest movement in the last hour of those 5. So what's that? 28 miles that it's moved in 5 hours. So it's been moving at just over 5 miles per hour. It's still got 70 miles exactly to landfall. Weren't we talking about 40 something earlier?
Yes, we were.
I don't understand how that's managed to change to 70, but oh, I think it's, yes, it's measuring the, okay, I get this now. It was measuring the whole line, so no, it's not 70 miles to landfall. It is actually 41 miles to landfall. If it kept going at 5 miles per hour, that means it will make landfall in 8 hours. Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, I think it'll be tonight sometime, Nathan, and I've just got on the screen the Reaper radar. The rain bands are definitely increasing north through west to south. So the western side, the rain bands. But if we go to Leichhardt, with the central pressure is 1001.3. They've only had 1 millimetre of rain since 9 AM. They've got 20 kilometres an hour, gusting 45. Or 11 knots, gusting 23.
Interesting. What was the pressure then? Was it still at 1,000?
1001.
Still.
So pressure really hasn't dropped,
No.
Nathan. And then if we come down
and
to
where, just
Cone,
a minute. Where exactly is Lockhart River in relation to the storm there? It's right it's right near the landfall, potential landfall zone, isn't it? It must only be about 45 miles from the centre.
Yes, but I reckon it'll be definitely tonight before landfall. I don't see it being this afternoon.
Well, it's 10 o'clock now, isn't it? So we're looking at about probably 6 PM.
Yeah. And the Bureau will update, as I said, in about 45 minutes.
Interesting.
And then if we come across to the Cairns radar.
Yep, that's a bit far south.
Yep, so mainly it's going to be the Reaper one.
Yeah, Weepa's pretty much the only one that has the center of the, well, not the center, but the eye wall and the eye pretty much in range. And it's gonna get even closer in the next few hours here. On microwave, it also looks like it's trying to, I don't know exactly what it's doing on microwave actually. Go on high wall placement cycle, or I don't know, but on the last 2 frames you can see it does something. I don't know. I don't know. And then on the IR, the eye has yet again come back again. It's a little bit bigger than it was before. We'll see if that's a permanent feature, or it'll sink back.
I can't figure out what happened there.
Yeah, I don't. Microwave just has some. Microwave's been not going up here too often over the past few hours here, so I'm assuming that's why it's all kind of dicey in the beginning and kind of in the end there. But like, I don't know if it's going under an IOL placement cycle right now. I can't really tell looking at this, but it's certainly doing something, I can tell you that.
Isaac, do you think it's still intensifying? We've just gone and upgraded it to Category 2 in the last 15 minutes. Winds of 100 miles an hour. Do you agree?
I mean, I would say maybe 95, but if I
95? That doesn't exist.
I mean, I know it doesn't exist, but I'll be around 95. But going by the conversions, yeah, I would say 100. But on the last 2 frames, you can see the convection has been kind of waning in the last 2 frames here, especially onto looks like the northeastern quadrant here. When that fired up convection there, but more so the northern quadrant, I should say. during the last 2 frames, there's a little kind of gap between those cooler cloud tops. So yeah.
David, can you remind us of the warning information, please? Somewhere. Anywhere. Maybe not. We'll get those shortly.
Well, I have.
Sorry,
Oh,
I've got it.
there you go.
There he is.
I was on mute. Severe tropical cyclone Trevor continues to intensify, moving slowly towards the Leichhardt River area, Orford Ness to Cape Flattery, extending across Cape York Peninsula to Port Pirie to Mapoon, including Reaper, Leichhardt River and Curran. That's the warning zone. The watch zone is Mapoon to Cape York, and Category 3, sustained winds near the centre, 150 kilometres per hour, with wind gusts to 205 kilometres an hour, and located within 20 kilometres at 12.9 degrees south, 144.4 degrees east, estimated to be 120 kilometres east of Leichhardt River, and 270 kilometres east of Reaper, moving west-southwest at 7 kilometres an hour.
Yeah, people are asking me questions about Strat. Well, if Strat arrives, that gives us an excuse to talk about Strat. Until then, no comment. Have you seen the storm on Visible? I know the hole to the northern side of the storm is quite apparent on infrared. It's even more apparent on visible imagery. I'll get some visible imagery up here now.
Sunlight imagery, but Nathan, I think he is slowing down because the observations are not changing.
Well, some people in the chat have been saying it's speeding up, David. To be honest,
I'm going to go the other way because
I think I'm going to go in the middle. Actually, I think it's been pretty consistent in the last 5 hours at least.
Well, the observations for Leichhardt River really haven't changed. The Bureau's not doing any.
Well, maybe the storm's not. Maybe the storm's not as broad or as intense as we think it is.
Well, that's a possibility. But I'm saying probably. Well, I'm speculating, but I'm saying it'll be sometime tonight before it crosses the coast.
Our best estimate is around 6 p.m. Just for reference here, Lockhart. Okay, I can see Lockhart on the map there. I can't find Lockhart River. I imagine it's very close by. I'm going to try and get this map to work. Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment. We'll stick with Isaac's imagery till then.
Oh, I'll go back to it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're learning.
I was about to get visible again, but
I'll have the visible shortly. You can stick with that infrared view there. But the Lockhart River region, this isn't working for me at all now. Wonderful.
So it's on the radar here.
Persevere, Nathan. It'll come good for you. But seriously, I think it has slowed, and 1001 millibars, 10 a.m. They do half-hourly updates, but they haven't done any extra readings. The last one was 8:45, and they're doing half-hourly readings for Leichhardt River. If it was closer, they would be increasing their observation readings, and we've got 11 knots gusting at 23.
Alright, I think we've got something now. Hopefully. This better work. Okay, there is a view. And if we draw the line from Lockhart River to the centre of the storm, it's 41 miles. So somehow we've got to figure out how that works. The pressure 41 miles away from the centre of the storm is 1001 millibars, folks.
And Nathan, Cape Flattery has 1007 millibars.
That's further south, isn't it?
North.
North. How far north?
And
We are learning Australian geography on the air, folks.
oh no, correction. It is south.
It is south. I was right. David, you live there.
13 knots, gusting 19.
Okay.
Alright, and we'll go to the northern one. Lizard Island. I think I can bring Lizard Island. That's off the coast.
Just a minute. Where is... I wasn't looking at your screen. Where's Cape Flattery on there? Okay, Cape Flattery's up there near the top.
Yep.
And that's from Cairns upwards. So that is... Yeah, so that's quite far away from the storm, so you'd expect the pressure to be quite high. That is a good 160 miles from the storm.
Now, if we go to the east of Bougainville, which is the northern end of the Great Barrier Reef, and I've got 1,008, although I've got 27 knots, gusting 31. That's Bougainville Reef, so that would be the furthest one out.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just trying to find Lizard Island, so I'll have to do some chopping and changing.
We'll go back to Isaac's imagery then. Isaac does show us a floater image there.
Yeah, something really quick ahead, but that's kind of a farther away view, but it gives you a wider perspective of things here. And this one goes to 23 UTC time. I'll go back to IR really fast here, and you can see in the later frames the ice been clouding out again. It looks like it popped out again, and now it's starting to cloud back out. At least on the IR recent frames, you see in the last few frames there, so it's clouding back up again a little bit. It's been doing that, most of the day. Go ahead, Nathan.
No, I wasn't.
Nathan,
it's
thanks.
David.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks, Isaac. The Leichhardt River, as they update every half hour, but if something's going on with the maximum sustained winds, they do more. However, the last reading, 15 minutes ago, shows 22 kilometres an hour, gusting 43 kilometres an hour, or 12 knots, gusting 23. And at 10 o'clock, it was 11, gusting 23. And central pressure is now 1001.2 compared to 1001.3 at 10 a.m.
We're talking about 0.1 millibars there, David.
So, intensity really hasn't changed.
That is fascinating. 41 miles away, pressure's 1001 millibars. It's going to be quite some gradient if it's going to get down to 965.
And the next update in about half an hour.
We look forward to it.
And I'm going to say it'll be funny if they downgraded it to a high range Cat 2.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it looks like a
That's what
Category
I'm
2
thinking.
on the Sappho-Simpson scale now. It does. That's why we've put it up to Category 2, 100 miles an hour. GTWC are going to go with 110 miles per hour, which I still think is jumping the gun. Especially with this information. I think it will end up striking with the pressure in the 960s, I think. I still think so. But the more it goes without that pressure falling sharply at Lockhart River, the more intriguing that's going to get. In fact, what pressure are they going with now? 952?
Yeah, 952.
According to the
95
ATCF, and that's
Yep.
automated, but they're still saying it. 952. That's just a ridiculous, in my view, a ridiculous number.
Yeah,
Now,
it is.
on the screen, I think, Nathan,
Yep, we've still got you.
what does one say about the rainfall?
big. I mean, you know, what's that area there?
Okay, we start from Cairns, so between
Now, just a
Cooktown
minute.
and
What's the
Cairns,
highest rainfall on that chart?
400 millimetres, which is the red.
Well, there's no red there. It's just purple.
So we're looking at anywhere from 300 to 400 millimetres.
And that's in the space of one day, right?
Yep, and we're
Yeah,
going
so
to day 2.
that makes sense, because we could see 600 millimeters of rainfall in parts of the eastern Cape York Peninsula.
That's for Thursday. No, Wednesday, sorry. That's Wednesday, tomorrow.
Yep.
And Thursday, there it is. It's still in this file, right up.
Absolutely.
And Reaper. So that's Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. And people, just a question there about Chedeng, the storm, the system that hit the Philippines earlier on. It's still in the process of striking the Philippines at the moment. I can't really tell you much about it, apart from those warnings, the Signal 1 warnings that are still in effect. There's not really much else to say about it. There's some imagery of it. It does look pretty good, I must say. I'm not sure it could be classified as a storm, or whether it's even got a centre of circulation. I'm a bit surprised the JTWC dropped it. They shouldn't have, really, in my opinion. But huge amounts of convection over the Philippines. We don't really have the time to assess it properly in terms of actually figuring out how much rain is falling there at the minute, but at some point we will get some time to do that, and it could be significant amounts. We were worried of 300 millimeters of rain for parts of easternmost Mindanao, and lesser amounts towards the west. But for most of Mindanao, we'll probably get 150 millimeters of rain or more, and that could cause substantial flooding issues for the whole region there. So if you've got any news on the ground in the Philippines that you'd like to bring to us about Chedeng, internationally known as just the number 3W, please send us a message. It's one of those situations where you probably know more than us if you're there. That's the latest on that one. And just a reminder, the death toll from Cyclone Idai has risen massively today to 422. There is around 847 reported injured as well over there across the 3 countries affected: Mozambique, Zimbabwe and Malawi. Things are going to get worse. Heads of state suggesting, I think it was the Mozambique president, was it? Or someone like that, saying it could be 1,000, but no, nothing to substantiate that number just yet, and that's why we're holding at 422.